Hey all, Tom Moran here from Tom's Big Spiders. Yep, I know it's been a little while. We had kind of some heartbreak in the Moran household. Lily, our dog, our beloved pit bull that we've had now for about 10 years and who was probably 16 to 17 years old, passed away a few weeks ago. Although we knew she was getting old, it was kind of devastating because she went rather quickly. Made for a rather horrible weekend overall. I'll show a little picture of her. She is the one on top there. Probably the most lovable dog I have ever met in my entire life, and I have met many, many, many dogs. Lilith or Lily or Lilith the Maculate or the Love Goblin or the Love Hippo, whatever you want to call it, which is an amazing addition to our household and a beloved pet. So again, I don't know if this comes across a lot. The folks who watch my older videos are very well aware of this. We are huge dog lovers here. We have 4 dogs at any given time, and in the old videos you'd always hear them clicking around. Well, unfortunately, one of the ones that was clicking around has passed. We also lost Molly, my beloved little blonde shadow, in November. So it's been a rough couple of months in the Moran household for dogs, but unfortunately that's what happens with dogs. They get older and they pass on. Well, at least we can take solace in the fact that they were very loved here and had amazing lives after probably having some pretty rough starts. We know Lily was probably a breeder. When they found her, she was wandering the road. A local road, obviously had just had a litter of puppies, and I don't know how anybody could have dumped this dog on the side of the street. This is one of the reasons why I like animals much more than I like people. Anyway, I wanted to come back with something a little more interesting than some of the regular videos. So what we're going to do is a little update. I've had some molts. Weather is starting to get hot here. I got a funny feeling we're going to be having a lot of molts lately, and I love doing molt updates. A, because I have a lot of people asking about these species, and I like to do little updates for the people that are asking. And B, it gives me footage for later on when I go to do a husbandry video. I can go, oh, here it is after its molt when it hit 5 inches or 6 inches, or here's where its adult colors came in. There were a couple other ones I wanted to catch, and unfortunately I couldn't get them out and about, but I am doing a lot of rehousings coming up, so we'll get them then. So enough of me talking. Let's take a look at some recent molts. All right, so we're going to do some molt updates to kick this one off. I was super excited to catch this one out. I just got a picture of her and posted it on Instagram the other day, and I was so excited that she was out and about because this is a fossorial species that you generally won't see out all that often, but this is the Orphanacus philippinus, or Philippine Tangerine, one of my favorite all-time spiders. This was one of the ones that I produced back in September of 2019, and she is looking just stunning. Now, a note on this species, the slings start off brown, and then once they hit about 2 inches or so, inch and 3/4, 2 inch mark, that's usually when they start picking up some of that orange, and they keep that orange for quite a bit. But then when they get older, they do kind of wash out a little bit. They'll be more vibrant after a molt, which is usually the case with most tarantulas. But after they hit a certain age, I know my 2 big females that were older were more tannish. It doesn't matter. They spend a lot of time looking this beautiful orangey tangerine color that's just fantastic. And this is one we did do a rehousing on rather recently, and she ate like a little piggy, molted, and for some reason she's been hanging out and about, but I'm not going to complain because anytime I can get footage of this girl out, I will grab it. And this is one, if you guys remember, I was really excited about because we were able to get footage of her sitting out on the green. I just love how the orange contrasts with that green moss. And so here we go again. We've got her against the green moss. Very picturesque, very beautiful spider, and one of my all-time favorites by far. All right, this one's going to be shy, so we're going to kind of entice her to come out. They're usually pretty adventurous, but this is my Psuedhapalopus species blue. I have 2. My other female just molted and has been rehoused. See if we can get her out. I want to see that blue booty. No, please don't kick. We want to see your blue booty. Normally, I don't mess with them. I feel bad doing this, but I do want to guess. People have been asking me how mine are doing. Come on, girl. There you go. Hopefully Billy can get... Don't kick that beautiful blue booty. All right, stop. There we go. All right, so sorry, but you can see they're pretty, mine are pretty bold, and they usually, this is one of the few spiders I keep that even though they burrow and have burrows, when they get out and about, when you open the top of the enclosure, they'll sometimes, I don't want to say make a break for it, but they'll do some exploring. But beautiful spiders. Picked this one up, or both of them up, as slings in early 2018. This one here now is probably about 2.5 inches or so. The other one is closer to 3 inches. That's my big girl. Unfortunately, I was hoping to catch her out and about because she is not only larger, but that butt picked up an even more of a sheen. These guys, obviously, they get the name Psuedhapalopus species blue. Oop, there she goes. Because of that blue on their butt, that metallic blue, it's just really vibrant. But the other one, I don't know what happened, but she molted recently, and it's super bright. So awesome little spiders. I've had folks asking me how mine are doing, and they are doing great. This one will be getting rehoused soon because obviously she's outgrown this one. Actually, I should state that a lot of these guys you'll be seeing are due for rehousing, but I want to get some
footage of them before we move them into something else. So this next one up, we have Raphosa Hypothesis or apophysis. I'm going to open this one up and hopefully, okay, Billy's going to stand back for a second only to see if she kicks because she is a kicker. I absolutely love these guys. One of my favorites. I love Raphosa species, and for those who have followed my channel or my blog or my podcast, you know that they were on the top of my wish list for quite some time. I had kept Sturmy, I had kept Blondie. I really wanted an apophysis. We finally got a couple, and now they seem to be very, very prevalent in the hobby, which is great. And you can actually find them for fairly cheap everywhere. I know Fear Not had like a wicked deal on them that I was pretty jealous about. They actually sold all 3 of them. So this one I picked up in June of 2020. The one thing I will say about the apophysis compared to their cousins, the Sturmy or the Blondie, is they seem to grow a bit more slowly than those 2 species. However, the slowly part is relative. They are still fast-growing spiders. Now, I got to get this Molt out of here. I believe this is the female and sex it, but I'm guessing the Molt is probably about 5.5 inches, so she is a very gangly, I'm going to go out on a limb and say 6.5 inches or so. And that's one thing to recognize about this species compared to the other aforementioned cousins is the fact that they are much more leggy than the more stout Sturmy or Blondie. But gorgeous spiders. And this is one that supposedly there was a mature male out there that hit, I believe, over 12 inches. It was from a credible source. I wish somebody would chime in with what it was. I believe there's even pictures of it. So this could be, in actuality, the largest spider in the world in terms of leg span, which would make it, if it hit 13 inches, that puts it above the H maxima, which is the one that's currently considered to hold the record for largest leg span for a spider. But awesome. I know last time I posted these up, I talked about the fact they are not just blue spiders, so I hope blue spiders, dear Lord, brown spiders, I do hope some of the pinkish hues are showing up, because then somebody came right afterwards and basically made the comment with, as much as you try to sell it, Tom, it's just a brown spider, and I think they were kind of kidding, but I wanted to tell them to bite my butt. I can't really put that in there, can I?
Yeah, you can.
Nah.
That's totally fine.
I think they were kind of kidding. I just made a comment that we're probably going to cut out. I think they were kind of kidding, but at the same time, I was kind of like, bite me, they're awesome. So anyway, to each their own. If you don't like them, fine. There's more for the rest of us who love this species. And then moving on, this one's going to be, anytime I open the enclosure of one of these species, I tend to feel the hairs. This is going to be my Xenesthis species Bright that just molted and does absolutely need a rehousing. This is one of the ones we got lined up. We've actually been rehousing all the Xenesthis species. Let me see if I can open this without easy. Here we go. All right, so we're going to get this out of the way. And this one we got in August of 2020 as an 1.25 inch sling. Rather, that's kind of how big the smaller slings are for Xenesthis species. Molted several times. The Zenestas are amazing. I know I keep talking about Xenesthis species, but it's because if you're like me, you saw those price tags, you avoided them for quite some time because it seems like you could get like 4 spiders for the cost of one Xenesthis species. However, now that I have them, I realize why people that keep them have said they're worth the money. So I'm just trying to, and believe me, every time I post up something with Xenesthis, somebody will come on and go, they're way too expensive. I get it. I totally get it, and I would not argue against that. But I will say that after Billy picked me up a bunch, and people have pointed out the fact that I didn't actually spend my money on them. It was Billy for that one. But I would 100% spend my own personal money on these guys because they are gorgeous. You can see the purplish hue on their carapace, the reddish hairs on the abdomen, those legs. Some of them have bluish hues. Some of them just have that velvety black. Is it coming out blue?
Yes.
Oh, I did not know this was one of the bluer ones. Now, how are they all different? I don't know. I got a funny feeling a lot of these species are just going to be different variants of other described species. We'll have to see. Hopefully someday somebody studies the Xenesthis more closely because I would like to know what I have, but I don't care if they all look exactly the same. They are gorgeous spiders, and I would take as many of them as I could get. So this one is getting a rehouse soon. I've already got an enclosure. That was actually the original plan for today, was to do a rehouse with her, but I know I just did a bunch of Xenesthis ones, so we're going to hold on to that one for a little bit, but she'll be definitely getting a new house soon, and we'll see. Right now, I'm guessing she's probably in the, I'm looking at her 6-inch range, 6.5 inch range. Again, kind of like the previously mentioned T. Hypothesis. These guys are very, very leggy and gangly, but my God, are they breathtaking. So Xenesthis species Bright, amazing spiders. Lots of Xenesthis coming up, just to give everybody a heads up. So for those folks out there that are waiting for more Xenesthis species, don't worry, we got you covered. And here we have one of my adult female Hmax who just came out. She was actually in pre-molt for quite a few months. I was dropping crickets in, not getting a bite. And recently she popped out, dumped her molt out, and there she is. So I'm going to try to get a little bit closer because I don't want to just, she's going to sit there for a minute. I will flash up a picture of her. I have one of her out and about where she's just sitting out in the open, allowing me to get her beauty. Oh, and there she goes. So we'll go ahead and at the end of this, post the picture I put up on Instagram of this species. One of my favorite species because I love the black, white, and gray tarantulas. I think it's underrated, and this is probably Billy's favorite when you ask her favorite species in terms of appearance, because they really are stunning and I think very underrated. I think unfortunately they get a reputation for being a handful and very nasty, but I found that if you give them space, just like any other old world species, if you give them the space to burrow or hide, you shouldn't have a problem. The only time you might run into some issues is during the rehousings, but I've been very fortunate. Very fortunate with her. She's behind her thing there, where both this one and the other female were very good during the rehousings. All right, so this is a rather new addition to my collection. We're going to go ahead and open the container in a minute, the enclosure. But this is my Acanthoscuria geniculata. I picked this one up from Caleb Hill, who works out of Jabberwock Reptiles in Massachusetts. I'll be placing another order from him soon because we picked up a lot of awesome stuff from him. But anyway, we got this beautiful female who, when we did the original housing for it, a lot of folks pointed to the fact that she looked rather dull. And I said, yeah, I'm thinking a molt is coming soon. Well, she ate like 3 more times. And then like 2 weeks later, molted, which was kind of cool. So what we're going to try to do is just open this up so Billy can get a shot of her. I don't want to disturb her too much. That's why we're not taking the enclosure off of the shelf. But there she is, looking a lot darker. People were talking about how she was more of a chocolatey color, but there's that Acanthoscuria where it's that deep chocolate brown. Awesome species. I mean, I can't believe I haven't had one in my collection for a long time. It was actually one of the earlier spiders I ever got was an Acanthoscuria species. It was Acanthoscuria being called at the time Brocklehursti, which we found out is just a different version of Geniculata. So it was a Geniculata, but I raised the sling up to mature male, sent him off to pair. This one here is a beautiful female, and just what a wonderfully striking spider. Look at those bands on it. Holy crud. I'm actually admiring the spider both through the actual cage here and looking at the phone at the same time. But I had some folks ask me how she was settling in. I know there are a lot of people out there that love this spider. This is, I would say, probably one of the most popular spiders I get, or I hear from people that say it's their absolute favorite tarantula species, and I couldn't argue that. I could see why, but you can see she's doing a little spider yoga there because she molted last night. She's hardening up. So beautiful species. I keep saying that, but this I got to start breaking out the thesaurus for other words. Striking, smashing, fabulous, glorious, just any adjective you could throw in there. Just amazing spiders, and one that I look forward to growing up to hopefully a big beefy 7-8 inch female. All right, and here we have my Hypatra baviana, one of my Hypatra species. I was trying to collect them all. I think I'm only missing one of the currently available ones on the market right now. But anyway, picked this one up in September of 2017 as a little sling, and she just molted again, put on a decent amount of size. These are amazing little spiders. I know the Hypatra Polcropes gets all the attention because of the beautiful metallic blue legs and that orangey gold body, but there are a lot of other Hypatra species that I believe deserve that same bit of attention. They are also, I've found, as far as African old worlds go, rather laid back. Now, there's always going to be folks that talk about the fact that they have some that are a little more high-strung, a little more nasty in temperament, but I found that if you give them room to dig or web, they're fairly laid back overall. I've had really good luck with every single one of them. I've had a couple Hypatra Polcropes, Hamiltoni, Baviana, what is the other one's? Dictator. I'm trying to remember them all. I know I'm missing somebody here, but they've all been really well-behaved spiders. So for folks looking to get into old worlds that want something that's going to be easier to handle than, say, some of the other species, definitely give these guys a look-see. The only issue I found with them is they can be rather difficult to locate. People get them in here and there, so I would say if you see somebody offering them, snatch them up. But awesome little spider. She's all scrunched up here because she's eating a cricket. We were trying to get her to eat something so she'd come out. She was kind of... Once we took the top off the enclosure, she did the stress pose. They really are kind of shy little spiders, but awesome little spiders, and definitely something everybody should check out. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit of a bonus because after I started editing this whole video out, I was looking for somebody that we haven't spotlighted in quite a while.
And as luck would have it, this little one here molted. This is my Pamphobeteus species Duran. I picked these guys up. I picked up 2 of them as slings a long time ago. I want to say 2014, 2015. I'll double check, and obviously I'll put notes if I'm wrong on that one. But I checked her the other day, and she molted. Now, if you remember these guys, you'd have to be fans of my channel for quite some time. So if you remember back in the day, and this would obviously go way back, both the male and female were this lovely fuchsia purpley color. Oh, there she goes back inside. We'll see if we can get a little shot of her butt here. But the male ended up maturing out and was one of the most brilliant tarantulas I have ever had. It was like fuchsia all over, just one of just most stunning animals I have ever seen. Obviously, I have a thing for the purple and pink spiders. And the female, after her next molt, right around the 5.5, 6 inch mark, lost a lot of those pinks, which was unfortunate, but she was still beautiful. Later on, when she molted, she became more of an overall brown coloration. And unlike my Pamphobeteus antinus, who has those very slick, velvety legs, a very velvety texture on her legs, she was more fuzzy. Well, you can see here, she molted. She's picked up an overall black coloration with almost maroon hairs all over her abdomen and legs. Just very striking spider. I was hoping to get better shots of her. I don't want to disturb her too much. But there she is. You can see the carapace is like a velvety black. And hopefully those hairs are coming through, those maroon hairs, kind of pinkish hairs. Just a gorgeous spider, and what an amazing surprise, because this one I've had, obviously, as I've stated, for quite some time. I thought brown was going to be it, but one of the things I'm realizing with some of these Pamphobeteus species is that they can surprise you with color changes well into their life cycles. I know my Pamphobeteus antinus went from being brown to jet black with kind of a red butt for a while, and then went back to being more of a brownish overall coloration. Awesome species. I know why everybody loves Pamphos. They're beautiful spiders, and I'm glad I was able to show this one off just a little bit. So I was really excited to catch that Pamphobeteus species Duran, as she's been brown for so long, fuzzy and brown, and now she's a little more velvety with those hairs, which unfortunately when I was editing, it didn't look like they really came out. They're more of a maroonish pink. And for some of the more obscure species, although you look up pictures online, it's not necessarily indicative of what they're going to look like when they're full grown. So this was a cool little surprise. And as far as some of the other ones, it was just fun catching them out and about. I wish I could have gotten some better video of my Hmax. I know a lot of folks want me to do updates on, but mine are very, very shy. And again, the trick to not having spiders that are nasty and potentially defensive, or as people like to call them, aggressive, is to not mess with them when you don't have to. So unfortunately, we'll take what we can get. So that will do it for this one. As always, if you liked it enough to subscribe, very much appreciate. Click the little circle up in here. You can check out some more videos over in here. If you leave a comment, I will respond, but I've been really behind on comments lately. I apologize, but summer break's coming. I should be able to keep up with them much better. Guys, as always, thanks for watching. We'll catch you all next time.